What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another week of the Multiverse. It is your host, Bad Ty Briggs, here with Holly Noon and Tyrone Thornhill. This week, we will be discussing none other than the one, the only Doctor Strange trailer. It just came out, so we got a lot to talk about. We'll also be discussing 50's Super Bowl performance, along with Kanye in his feelings again, and a little bit of DaBaby doing what DaBaby does. But hey, we got to pay them bills. So let's get it. Uh-oh. Are you being difficult? What's up, everybody?
Yo.
It is so good to see you guys.
Hey.
I love these beautiful faces every Wednesday.
We got talking about me, Holly.
Well, obviously, everybody knows about our thing, Tyrone. No, but guys, man, we got a lot to talk about this week, man. We had a big trailer drop. Holly has yet to see it.
Yeah.
So I do not want to keep her waiting. We want to jump right into it this week. Spoiler alert for anybody out there who has not seen the Doctor Strange trailer at this point and is like my very good friend Vince Taylor and doesn't want to watch those trailers, I would suggest you turn the volume down, turn away from the screen, because this is going to be a full-on spoiler session. Okay, so let's get to it. Holly, you ready? I'm ready. I need to prep you a little bit. Like I feel like I'm your like boxing coach in the corner, and I'm like right now, just all right.
Have some smelling salts ready. Like
my armpits are sweating. Oh my god!
Kid, loosen up, kid. Go in there, Rocco. But look, without further ado, I want to go ahead and play this for you. This is fire. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Here we go.
Every night, I dream the same dream. And then... the nightmare begins. I did what I had to do to protect our world.
You cannot control everything, Strange. You opened the doorway between universes, and we don't know who or what will walk through it.
Wanda, what do you know about the multiverse?
Viz had his theories. He believed it was dangerous.
He was right.
I'm sorry, Stephen. Your desecration of reality will not go unpunished.
We should tell him the truth.
Things just got out of hand.
You break the rules. Look out! And become a hero. I do it, I become the enemy. It doesn't seem fair.
Woo! All right. First things first, Holly, I would love to hear your reaction because it's the first time you've seen the trailer. What do you think? Just based on what you just saw, what do you think?
Well, I'm actually happy to see Wanda again. Uh, I'm actually curious to see more of her kind of outside of the Avengers. So I'm really excited. I'm kind of can't wait to see what her storyline is going to be in this movie. But yeah, there was a lot going on in there. I was like, I'm sitting here like and mentally taking notes, like what happened before like the next 10 seconds. And I don't know. I'm like now, and then also in my head, I'm like, okay, so where does this take place? When? And like piecing things together. So I'm excited. I'm like, the first thing when it was done, I was like, I need to go buy a ticket now. Like book my seat now.
Get that love seat.
Right, get my love seat. The Cinemark.
Well, let's talk about one of the most obvious things that we noticed, which was we have the introduction of a new superhero to the MCU. Our very own America Chavez. Tyrone, you know a little bit about America Chavez. Could you kind of fill us in a little bit about her backstory, maybe like what some of her powers are and everything like that?
Yeah, a little bit. I know a little bit about America Chavez. She's she's superhuman. She's got strength and that kind of stuff. But the main thing that is important to know about America Chavez is that she has the ability to create portals to other universes. Which obviously is why she's perfect for this movie. And in the trailer, when you see like the blue star-shaped portals, those are hers. Her portals are star-shaped. That's how she travels between universes and stuff. So it's just gonna be wild, and I can't wait to see how they introduce her, and it looks like she's going to be a really big part of it too. So I mean, this is another case of representation where we have a Latina girl who's going to be running around with Doctor Strange and doing multiversal stuff, and I mean it's another example of that. So hopefully a lot of happy little children running around after Doctor Strange too.
Now, one of the misconceptions that I've heard is that a lot of people see the star and think that she somehow is tied into Captain America because of the name. But based on the stuff that I read about her, she really doesn't have any direct connection to Captain America or the Super Soldier program or anything like that. Have you heard some of these things as well?
So I believe there's a point in her Marvel lore where she takes up the mantle of Captain America, but she's not even from our Earth. You know what I mean? Like, so she's it would be something. It would be a break, I think, from what the MCU has created. I mean, but at this point, everything is breaking. So who knows? But I do believe there have been times where America Chavez has grabbed the shield and taken up that mantle. And I think every now and again, Marvel just likes to do that. They like to have somebody representing the shield that doesn't look like Steve Rogers. So we get the new Captain America, Sam Wilson. There's points where, we get to see America Chavez with the shield and kind of in that role and stuff. So, every now and again, they like to spread that shield around. I would be surprised to see it happen in the MCU anytime soon, though. I think Anthony Mackie is going to be our Captain America for a good bit of time.
Yeah, we haven't even got a Young Avengers, series yet.
Yeah, it's true.
Kind of transition over and everything like that. So yeah, you're right. It's probably going to be a while. Also, some of the more obvious things that we noticed that we look to have different versions of Doctor Strange. We have who looks to be here evil Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
I may be wrong, so don't quote me. But it does look like a representation thereof. Also, we have this
Defender
version
Strange
of Doctor Strange, which is Defender Strange. And also we have another version of Strange that I don't know if you caught, but I sure did.
Yep, I saw that.
Yeah, and we saw a version of this also in the What If series, did we not?
We did. We got to see some.
Yes.
The zombie episode gave us some awesome zombies, two of which we saw in this trailer. Wait, no, I'm sorry. The Wanda zombie wasn't in this trailer. She was in the Super Bowl spot on TV.
Yes.
They did show briefly show the zombie Wanda, which was amazing.
Yeah, but the crazy Doctor Strange was in the What If episode when he was trying to like keep rewinding.
Oh yeah,
time, and he went like mad, like trying to.
And there are people saying that they don't know if that's the Strange Supreme that we know from What If, but I think even if that wasn't him, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get Strange Supreme in this movie. I'd be surprised if that didn't happen.
I mean, the multiverse of madness in itself, just in the name itself, speaks to a lot of unexpected twists and turns. Key the word madness. So like I would not be surprised if we got a lot. If the fact that they're showing us this on a trailer, makes me believe that there's so much we aren't really prepared for.
Oh yeah.
But this is just this is woo.
Not only that, not only that, but we do know that Marvel is no stranger to editing trailer footage to make it look like one thing when it is not that thing.
Very true.
So which I respect the game. You know what I mean? Like they give us what they want to give us, and then they pull back when they need to pull back. So like I always feel comfortable watching Marvel trailers. But if you remember with the No Way Home trailer, I mean they took the Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire completely out of the trailer. You know what I mean? So it was, they'll do that kind of stuff. So we don't know what we do have to take this with a slight grain of salt, even though. All the stuff looks great. It's I'm super excited, but any of this could change. I mean, there obviously America Chavez is going to be in it. She's you're not going to throw that. There's a lot of talk where people are debating whether or not there's a Captain Marvel variant, or if this is like some sort of superior Iron Man in one of these shots. And we don't know, and I think they're making it so we discussed that. You know what I mean? So like they didn't give us a clear shot very intentionally. They know people pour over these trailers frame by frame by frame. So like they're not going to be out there slipping. Yeah. Like everybody's out there like, I broke down this trailer and I caught some things that they didn't want me to catch. Like they gave you exactly what they wanted to give you. Like this is Marvel Studios we're talking about. They have been playing, you know what I mean? So but I'm so excited. There's so much stuff. I mean, one thing that they gave us, I'm gonna let Ty go to the next thing because I feel like he's got it all locked and loaded.
You're right. There was so much to like really tackle. But again, I want to just kind of spotlight the things that we could notice immediately. We'll go into a more in-depth breakdown probably on Saturday on the New Blurred Order. But right now, also what we noticed in this trailer was at some point Doctor Strange has been placed into custody. Also, we noticed this blue ensemble that he's now rocking, as opposed to the red ensemble that we're used to kind of seeing him portray. But we're seeing a lot more blue in this. So could that also be a determination of a variant? Holly?
Really? Is it? He's wearing. Isn't his cape red? But I thought his outfits were blue. No.
His outfit's mostly blue.
Oh, okay.
And it would make sense that if he were in custody, that they would take his cape from him. His cape is pretty its own kind of thing.
But I mean, at this point, sure, anything could be. I mean, it could be a variant at this point. Could be. But yeah, maybe I missed that because I always thought his outfits were for the most part.
I thought his outfits for the most part were red with blue like undertones. But now we're seeing more of the blue and then another individual that has red undertones and more.
Oh, okay.
So like and I don't know if they're doing it to distance him from the Scarlet Witch because she has all the red. So I don't know if that's a way to kind of separate the two. I guess we'll find out later on. But it was very telling when I saw him in custody because this even though this is a little bit of different technology, didn't we also see something similar to this before?
Yeah, there are the Asgardian cuffs.
Yeah, we've seen something similar to that before. I think the difference between those cuffs and these cuffs is you can clearly see that there's a different mechanism, and also, and I only know this because I actually sometimes go a little bit further, but this one is actually a magically induced or kind of mechanism because it has like runes on it as well. Like when the locks were twisting, there were like runes on it. So yeah, so you can see that it kind of like somehow dulls his magic or makes his magic.
So it like inhibits from using his magic. So is that like magic moving through it?
Yeah, and I did some research and I found out that the person who actually placed those on him is Baron Mordor.
Okay.
So and they don't know which version that is. So like again, like this is going to be one of those movies that you're going to have to really, really pay attention to because at any given point in time, you could be dealing with 3 or 4 possible variants of one person. So you have to like determine, which person which variant we're dealing with at that point in time. But this was all prior to him being bounded, prior to him being escorted by what looks to be Ultron robots. Am I on point here, Tyrone? Does that look like Ultron robots to you?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It appears as though I agree with the theory that Tony Stark, in some reality, was able to successfully create the Ultron situation he wanted to create, which protects the world, and who knows, maybe even the universe or the multiverse, or that kind of thing. So it looks like, this is a very well controlled and or under control and well maintained Ultron force that's not evil and not out for world domination, but is actually being used for what the manager will say believes is good. So and if it's a superior Iron Man, then it also makes a lot of sense because he would have had a lot of help getting to this point.
And this all there at this point in the trailer, this is right before the big wow moment, right? So they're escorting him into what looks to be like an open area where if you look up, there'll be like a council or some chairs and everything like that. And in that moment, you hear a voice that one can never ever forget. And that was the huge moment that everybody has been talking about over the course of the Super Bowl. And that is our one very own Patrick Stewart, aka Professor X, Charles Xavier. When you heard his voice, Tyrone, did you almost like probably like jump out of your chair and run around the house and pull out your hair like, oh my god, he's back?
Even when I heard it this time, this is like the 6th pair of pants I pooped in like 3 days. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. I'm gonna have to do so much laundry. No, I couldn't believe I heard his voice in an MCU trailer. I couldn't believe they gave it to us in the first, like they gave this to us. Like this is something that's huge, earth-shattering, universe-changing, huge as far as like what we've established in the MCU. And they're just like, here it is, right in the trailer, just right off the bat, boom, this is what you get. I can't even imagine the kind of stuff they're holding back. But it's the implications of Professor X being a part of perhaps and likely the Illuminati. I mean, it essentially just they gave us the X-Men. This is the moment that we MCU fans have been waiting for over a decade. That the MCU would come in and save the X-Men and make it a franchise that we think is true to what we Thank you, Dwayne. I will once the show's over, it's the first thing I'm going to do. But no, it's I can't wait to see how they explain, you know, Professor Xavier's existence, as far as are they going to canonize the you know, the previous X-Men films? Like, will the previous X-Men films be canon in some way? Will it be another universe? And you know, he's just one Charles Xavier that represents this Illuminati, and we may one day find, you know, maybe he's like, yeah, there are plenty of other Xaviers out there, and you never know what they might look like, and you know, maybe we'll get the you know, maybe we'll get the Black Charles Xavier we all want. You know what I mean? I'd be so happy to get a Black Charles Xavier, but I'm really excited to just see how they go about this, because there's so many questions. This brought up an endless amount of questions, and they're all just fun. We get to talk about it for the next like 2 months, basically, because you know, there's still some time to wait for this movie.
Right.
Yeah, I was going through the comments, and you know, Lisa brought up a she doesn't want to see Wanda as the villain, and
don't go see this movie.
Yeah, you probably 'cause this is, you know, I don't know why it's not working like that, but anyway. But yeah, so one of the biggest things that I said at the beginning is the fact that this is a multiverse, and you have so many different variants. You almost have to expect there to be at least one bad version of the Scarlet Witch. Like, there's just no way around it. You know, it has to be done. Especially now that you've opened the door to mutants being in the MCU. By having a Charles Xavier, one of, you know, the most powerful mutants, you know, that the MCU has had, and you have him now in the MCU. We know that there is an expectation for so much more. Now, what we did not do is discuss the Illuminati, Tyrone, which is the council that Doctor Strange is brought in front of. And you have a little bit of backstory as far as the Illuminati. Could you give us a little insight on who they are in the comic book world?
Yeah, so in the comic book world, the typical Illuminati team would be Professor Xavier, Doctor Strange, Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, Iron Man, Black Panther, and Namor. Namor being the you know, he's basically Marvel's Aquaman, but Namor's better. And what they've done is they got their group together as leaders of their respective communities, whether it's Atlantis or the mutants, or, you know, the Fantastic Four, you know, the big teams, basically all the big teams, the big, you know, the most influential, the richest, most powerful heroes got together and decided that it would behoove them to protect their Earth. Once they realized so many threats can come in from outside of the planet, outside of the universe, they decided they needed to come together to basically protect the entire world. And the only way they could do that effectively is to do it together, even though a lot of times they don't agree. There's a lot of infighting in the Illuminati and stuff like that. It's not always the most it's not always the most put together. So there's a lot of possibilities there for changing members, for you know, going separate ways, conflict and stuff. But ultimately, and yeah, Professor X. Did I say Professor X first?
Yeah, you did. You did.
Okay.
You missed Black Bolt. You missed Black Bolt.
Black Bolt, right?
Yeah,
I don't expect to see Black
Bolt
in this movie. Yeah. I don't think that they're going to throw Inhumans at us quite yet. But I could be wrong, because, you know, Miss Marvel is right around the corner, so we have that. But yeah, but Black Bolt for sure. And yeah, so their whole thing is to stop what Wanda and Strange have been doing. I mean, Wanda and Strange are messing with the multiverse in ways that need some intervention. So that's going to be the group that intervenes. And if it's not that group, then it's going to be worse people like Kang or somebody else, because, you know, there are a lot of observers of the multiverse. So yeah, that's me. See, I'm very excited about talking about this. I keep opening up new threads, which is not what I want to be doing right now. So just
new branches in time, Tyrone.
Yeah, and I'm creating all these alternate realities. No, but the Illuminati is going to be huge. We may see version of Iron Man that we haven't seen yet, the Superior Iron Man that we've mentioned a few times. I know they've had that casting rumor about Tom Cruise floating around for a couple months now, and I feel like this trailer made everybody just basically like, they're like, this is true now. Tom Cruise is Iron Man now, like that kind of a thing. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm super excited about what variant of Strange we might see, unless perhaps Baron Mordo is who is on the Illuminati at the moment. Because if you remember at the end of the first Doctor Strange movie, Mordo went his separate ways because he didn't believe in what Strange was doing. He was like, you can't, this type of power it should not be held by somebody, and that kind of thing. So it would make sense that Mordo's out there snitching, basically.
Yeah. And one of the biggest, I think, takeaways from everything you just said is you mentioned Reed Richards. You mentioned Professor X, and you mentioned Black Bolt. What this gives us an opportunity now is to bring in the Inhumans, the Fantastic Four, and the X-Men into the MCU all in one movie. Like we've talked about this in our circles for a while. We didn't expect it to happen this soon. We expected it at some point, but to happen this soon and give us this, kind of insight into the future. What does that mean? I mean, like, what does that mean for Marvel moving forward at this point, Tyrone?
Yeah, I think what they're trying to do is just they're finally figuring out how to use the visual media of TV shows and movies to really tell these comic book stories. They're like, okay, at this point, we can assume that people are on board. We can assume that people have seen all the stuff, so we can just put the craziest stuff in these movies. So I kind of expected them to sprinkle maybe the X-Men, sprinkle like a little bit of a hint here, or like a quick cameo there, like same thing with the Fantastic Four. And then when we get to phase 5, make it more about that. But they've taken the training wheels off, and they're just like, our fan base is on board with our ideas. Our fan base, we're eating up multiverse stuff. We're eating up stuff that if you ask me 10 years ago, would there ever be a Doctor Strange movie where he's chasing around, he's running around with America Chavez and fighting Wanda Maximoff and, all this other stuff. Would I see that? I would be like, nah, that's ridiculous. Nobody's going to watch that. Like, people want XYZ heroes, but here we are. The possibilities are absolutely endless.
Now, one of the things that I've also heard in a lot of the of our circles is there was an Easter egg dropped where Captain Carter from the What If series, her shield is actually found in one of the shards in the new trailer art, and her shield, you see like her shield in one of the shards, which is almost an indication that we now have Captain Carter in the MCU as well. So the What If series, what we thought was just like a whole bunch of what ifs, has actually manifested itself into an actual thing. And so now we have zombies, we have Captain Carter, an evil Doctor Strange, so we still have an evil Ultron, that's still
locked away in a
so is this an indication that Marvel is now ready to just test everything now? Like, they're just willing to go out with anybody and just, hey, we'll bring in anybody at this point. Like, we don't have any loyalties at this point. We'll bring anybody in if we feel like we can kind of branch on their story. You guys see that?
Yeah, I think so. I think if I think they understand that it's just money in the bank now. When's the last time Marvel failed at something? You know what I mean? So right now, I mean, it's, even the Eternals wasn't as well received as a lot of their movies, but the Eternals still did really well. And even though it was sort of polarizing, it still escaped all of the talk being understood as like, okay, it's a different flavor of Marvel movie, but it's a good Marvel movie. You know what I mean? And it did even better on Disney Plus than they expected it would do. So I think they just understand that that as long as they respect the material and really go at it the right way, that it's it's done. Like there's no testing anymore. They're just like, yeah, this is good, let's do it, and then boom, $1 billion. Like that's just Marvel right now.
Yeah. What if it was a social experiment for sure? I think they just tested like everything on us and just saw reactions, and they're like, yeah, we're good to go.
Yeah, every week on What If, we were like, everybody was just like, give me more. Yeah, and they were like, okay, we could do whatever the hell we want, without a doubt.
Pretty much. Now, there's also a scene in that trailer where you see everybody looking up in the sky. I wasn't able to get the full clip, but you know, there's a lot of different looks like a lot of their allies that are all like battling the same being, whatever they're looking up at. And with Wanda possibly being the villain in this movie, or at least one of the villains in this movie, because there could be multiple villains, just like there's multiple variants of everyone. Are we looking at an epic battle? Are we looking at like an epic battle brewing where, you know, you have America Chavez, you have Captain Marvel, because we saw the scenes where Captain Marvel's there battling what could be another Captain Marvel variant, or you know, I've heard a lot of speculation about who that is. But is this all kind of set up for this epic fallout battle in the end, Holly?
How long is the movie? No. Potentially. I don't know. I feel like it could be the start of something. You know, I don't. It depends how long the movie is, because in my mind I'm like trying to like we got to build the story. There's gonna be a little bit of, you know, I'm thinking like we might be able to catch a little something, but I don't know. I don't know. I feel like they're gonna tease us, and then it's gonna cut to black, and then we're gonna see you in a year. No, just the next part. I don't know.
I hope not.
But no, I hope not. But I mean, we saw how like Infinity Wars ended at first, and then we had to wait until Endgame, and then we had to sit through that for 3 hours.
Yeah,
trying to have. So I don't know. I don't know. Like, I
almost feel as though Marvel's had so many things that have been pushed back that they've got stuff waiting. They're just like, okay, how do we make this? How do we like maximize, the feedback and the kind of, the love and everything, where everybody continues to love it, but they're not like oversaturating the market. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, we got to give them it's almost like you're a drug dealer.
Yeah.
You're like, you got to give them just enough to make them come back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's my pusher man, Marvel. So nah, but it's definitely just, and we only got that was like my second time watching it. So I know there's probably more and more things that, once I go back and watch it more, I'll see and be like, oh, I missed that. I can't believe I missed that. But it does set up for a lot of excitement, and also, for us to be, beaming like we always do about how Marvel just blew our minds and everything like that. So this one drops, I believe, May 6th.
May 6th, yeah. I do have a thought that I didn't see in the trailer. I'm not really seeing a lot of discussion about it other places, and I could have missed it. But if we're getting like what if tie-ins, and if we're doing multiverse stuff, and we're dealing with these super powerful beings, then we might get a live action Uatu sighting. Uatu was the Watcher from What If, and how amazing would that be? Because there was a moment in the trailer where it looked like Wanda was in sort of that like outside of the multiverse sort of thing, looking in, kind of how Ultron shattered that like multiversal wall to get to the Watcher. It looks like Wanda was in a similar situation. So we might see a live action Watcher, and I think that would be amazing and mind blowing.
I think the setup is there. I mean, what's the actor's name who played him in
Jeffrey Wright?
Jeffrey Wright. First of all, Jeffrey Wright is an amazing actor. Yes, amazing actor. You don't go get Jeffrey Wright just for a voiceover. Okay, if you have the opportunity to get him on screen and you can see him act out Uatu, oh my gosh, you come on, Marvel. We don't even have to that shouldn't even be a discussion at this point. Like, I think you're right, Tyrone. You've been right most of the time. So I could absolutely see that happening, and soon. The way that they're moving at this fast pace, because I was not expecting to get. I mean, we've been discussing it. Everybody's been like, behind the scenes, like, oh, how are they gonna, bring us the X-Men to the MCU? Are we gonna get the X-Men? And we got it. There's no more need for the discussion. They're here. They're here, y'all. So we just gotta stay tuned and see what comes about in May.
Was there something on that you were just about to say, Holly? Look like you're about to say something.
No, I was gonna say the way that What If ended was kind of like, remember he said he doesn't like typically get involved, the Watcher, but he has to. Yep. And so I'm wondering if this is how they if they do bring that in. Because
I would love to see it. Absolutely love to see it.
Yeah.
Now, that's not the only thing that's been going on in the news. There's been a lot happening just in this last week. One of the funniest guys, this guy makes me laugh every time I see a post or anything in regards to his life, because just that guy. Kanye, guys. Kanye is back in the news again, where it seems as though he stays lately. He's out here writing messages to his ex, and then having to go on social media and tell people that his account wasn't hacked. These are real feelings and emotions that I have. I just want my family back. All the while, in the midst of his own relationship with this young lady, which to his credit, I have seen recently that they are supposedly split. So, and supposedly he split because he wanted to fix things at home with his lady. However, or his ex-lady. However, sometimes people move on, and sometimes you don't like who they move on with. And in this case, he's livid. He's absolutely livid about who she's dating. First of all, guys, do we respect it or dissect it? Do we respect it or dissect it? Just
oh, we got to dissect.
We got to dissect it.
We got to dissect it. All right, you've heard the people speak. We're gonna go ahead and dissect this, y'all. So Tyrone, is Kanye upset with Kim dating, or is he just upset with Kim dating Pete Davidson?
So I'm hesitant to try to guess what Kanye is thinking and feeling. My thoughts are more on just the method he's choosing. For example, if he was like, look, these are some really heartfelt things that I'm trying to tell the woman that I'm trying to get back, whatever, I'm guessing he probably has her phone number. Like, he could probably call her and tell her these things privately and not make it, this whole thing where he's constantly like taking shots at, her new dude, or, her, or whoever happens to be in their little circle and stuff like that. Kanye is looking really, really weird right now. And to the point where, like, over the last couple of days, it got to a point where people were like, we might need to help these people. You know what I mean? Like, that's been the kind of feeling of, like, Kanye, there was some, something about like Kanye being like all on the property and trying to, just doing things that if you're like, if a girlfriend of yours or anybody was telling you about a lover that they had that was behaving this way and doing these things, you might be like, look, this is toxic. If you need any help, if you need a place to stay, let me know. I got you, like that kind of thing. So he's just gone completely off the rails. There's a part of me that wants Kanye one day to be like, hey, y'all, I'm just kidding. It was a bit the whole time. I just wanted to show you how much of a vulture the media can be. And like, how, our society is now so enamored with people falling apart that I wanted to do a bit. I don't think it's that. I would be so happy if one day Kanye would just like, just kidding, y'all. But he is acting absolutely ridiculous. And nobody's winning. That's the thing. Like he's not winning. He looks crazy. His kids damn sure ain't winning because we've got a super public weird ass beef / stalking situation / whatever. And I'm no Kardashian fan, so let me just put that out there. I'm not out here like, girl, you better get somebody better. You know what I mean? I don't care what they do, but like, yeah, Kanye, man, you gotta calm, you gotta chill, man. Call her. Write a letter.
Holly, I wonder if Kanye has this same type of energy if Kim leaves him and say maybe dates this guy. Because I mean, we know Kanye to be kind of egotistical and self-absorbed. And when you feel like you're that guy, you just don't want to lose to that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
yeah.
Do you see it? Because I was thinking about, do you see what, does that seem like it might just be that Kanye is just more upset that his Kardashian wife, mother of his children, decided to what he would maybe think, sell herself short with Pete Davidson?
No, I mean, I think that's exactly what it could be. I think what's interesting is like how Kim started and where she's at now. And I think, being just like, having the sex tape and just being just a reality star for the most part. And then here she has evolved and she's a billionaire and she's about to become a lawyer and she's helping people get out of prison. And, it's like, and Kanye was a part of that journey. And then here she is, hey, Pete. But then her sister's dating rocker Travis Barker. They're engaged. So I don't know if she's just trying something different because it worked out for her sister. And so maybe it's like, hey, these men are cut from the same cloth. And maybe somebody who's just not so into social media and celebrity might be just something refreshing for her.
I hate to say this, but Travis Barker's level of fame is far exceeding to that of Pete Davidson. Pete Davidson, and not to take anything away from Pete Davidson, but Travis Barker has millions and millions of fans based on him being a rock star. He has that rock star persona. Pete Davidson is most notable for what, Tyrone? Ariana Grande?
Ariana? SNL. Yeah, he's an SNL guy. He's a popular comedian and stuff. But like, he's got his. But yeah, he's the most impressive thing about him is who he's dated for sure, without a doubt. But I think part of it though is like what we don't see behind closed doors. I think matters more than we realize. Because everything that I understand about Pete Davidson, because he's a comedian, so you hear being a comedy, like you hear experiences and stuff like that. Nobody has ever said a bad word about Pete Davidson as a person. Like the way he appears or whatever, like it's fun to roast because like he doesn't look like your typical heartthrob. We'll just say that. But from what I understand, he is understood to be like a really good guy. And it just may be that he demonstrated to Kim Kardashian when she was on SNL or whatever that he's just a good dude, and she was like, "Oh, he's not a complete psychopath. Maybe I can try dating somebody like this." You know what I mean?
Is he a Gemini? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I have no idea. but yeah, I think it's I could again. I don't know how Kanye West is behind closed doors. Any story that I've read or heard about people having experiences with him tells me that Kanye West is this dude. And I can imagine that gets pretty exhausting. You know what I mean? I can imagine if somebody's trying to tell you how much of a goddamn genius they are all the time, you might want to be like, yo, I'm just trying to watch TV. Like, I don't want to hear about your shit right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I can imagine, the constant need to be like worshipped and shit like that probably carries into his personal life in some way. And, he might need to have that shit examined.
Yeah.
Well, I hope they get it together, man. Because right now it's getting very messy. Now North is of age to be on social media and kind of be aware of her surroundings and everything like that, and to see your mother and father going back and forth at each other, well, not necessarily back and forth with each other, but to see your dad going at your mom's new boyfriend, can and to hear people, I'm sure that's tough on the kids and everything like that. But listen, Kanye, if Kanye is still in love with Kim, continue to shoot your shot. I just think
I don't think he is.
Leave Pete's name out of it, because Pete is just playing his position. And you got to kind of know that, and the fact that you're going so hard shows that you feel a little threatened, buddy. So I don't know. But listen, we're gonna move on. And like I said, there was so much going on this past weekend. We had the Super Bowl. We had what everybody seems to want to talk about right now, which is our boy 50 Cent, which, hey, 50, I love you. I don't know what everybody's got such a big deal, but I don't know, man. Did you guys see this?
Go show. It's your birthday. We gon' party like it's your birthday. We gon' sip a party like it's your birthday. And you know we don't give a fuck. It's not your birthday. We're partying in the club.
I mean, I ain't see nothing wrong. I don't know what the problem is. Holly, can you tell me what the problem was? I thought that was a great performance.
No, I just think he's aging, and like I said, he looks in shape to me, and I got no complaints.
Tyrone, I know you've been hearing the mutters. Everybody's jumping down 50's neck. Why do you think that is?
Here's what I think it is. So I feel like this Super Bowl halftime show was like, it was black in a way that wasn't just like visually black. You know what I mean? Like, it was black in a way that like some of that shit was a mess, and like we roast it because like that's how you do. So I feel like they're roasting 50 like how you roast one of your boys if he shows up just a little bit off key, you know what I mean? And you're just like, all right, we're just gonna go in on our boy real quick and just let him have it for a minute. And I think that's what it is. I think the halftime show, I think there was just like a lot of love in it, you know what I mean? And for the culture, we were just like, yeah, we have some shit to talk about now. So let's talk about, Mary collapsing on stage in drama, being Mary, just killing it. Let's talk about Kendrick, really bringing that noise and making people have to take a minute, So I think 50 just, because of the way he entered so silly, and I know it's from the video and stuff, but like he had that silly entrance, he just he looks like he went from 50 to 75, you know what I mean, like that kind of thing. But it's a way we're just roasting it and having fun with it and stuff. And I saw some articles where even his like responses to what all the talk and stuff like that have just been very lighthearted and joking. So this is one of those times where I think this is the fun ribbing that we're kind of used to, like in the family and among friends and stuff,
Yeah.
We're about to ride on 50 Cent.
I think, and the fact that 50 is the one that's always roasting everybody. It's fun to see him finally get roasted, because 50 is the same guy that he's the first one to if you do something online, 50's the first one to jump and roast you and have so much fun with it. So it's fun to see people kind of have that opportunity to get back at him and be like, yeah man, you're 50, so he's now the new meme for this week anyway. But I mean, it's just a testament to age. I mean, at some point, your hard body muscles are gonna turn soft, guys. That's just the way it goes. 50 did the hard body working out, in the midst of his growth as an artist, and now he is here as a mogul and doing all these business ventures and buying networks and doing this is 50, whatever. This is Curtis Jackson. This is Curtis Jackson we're dealing with now, people. This is not 50 Cent, it's Curtis. So
Yeah, he's not
I
20
didn't really see.
anymore.
Yeah, I didn't see much wrong with it. I didn't see the big hoopla, but I get it. Like I said, 50 is always picking on everybody, so everybody was like, "Oh yeah, let's get him, let's get him." So no big deal, no big deal. But this brings us to our next and final topic, which is my guy, your guy, none other than DaBaby. So listen, guys, do we respect it or dissect it?
Well, dissect it because I don't really respect a lot of what he's been doing.
Yeah, dissect
lately,
it for sure.
Yeah, I respect shit.
Respect nothing. All right, so we go ahead and dissect it. So, recently, one DaBaby had an altercation in a bowling alley in LA over his relationship and antics recently that we discussed here on the show with his baby mother, one Miss Danny Lee. When we covered this, there was a phone conversation. They went live on Instagram. He kind of just talked about how they didn't have a real relationship, and she was just the jump off, and she was crazy, and so on and so forth. Well, her brother caught wind of this and decided to go on to social media and commenced to saying how when he saw DaBaby that they was just gonna have to handle it like men. And he said, I believe something to the degree of, when you come to LA, you're gonna have to see me and all of this other kind of stuff like that. But basically letting him know that he's coming for him. So DaBaby does wind up in LA in a bowling alley, and the brother pulled up as he said he would. And this is what happened. Oh, okay, guys. So, I mean, Holly, what do we think? I mean, does that look like self-defense to you?
No. So my understanding was Danny Lay's brother was there, and then DaBaby pulled up on him. So like, I look like from my understanding, he was about to bowl or something like that, and DaBaby ended up jumping him. And I personally just thought that was like lame. I don't know. The situation was lame because, mind you, it's like DaBaby got him maybe like one or two good hits, but his homeboy seemed to be the one like.
Yeah, you can't be like, that you can't be sliding on the bowling alley if you're jumping folks and one of your boys is pulling somebody's hair too. Like that's you gotta get a new crew. You gotta rethink a lot of things, man. That's just you can't be like talking all that shit and then pull up like that, sliding around a bowling alley, 6 people versus 1, pulling somebody's hair and stuff. Man, this dude, every time DaBaby shows up somewhere, he just makes himself look more and more like a punk.
Yeah, it was like he had his like big man like basically do most of the hard work.
Well, I mean, I don't know if this is gonna sound crazy. I'm actually on the other side of this. Because initially when everything kind of transpired between him and Danny Lee, the brother decided to come out and make the video where he was stating how, DaBaby is gonna have to see me, you come out to LA. Like he was making a lot of little light threats and everything like that. And he did say that, I'll be by myself, we could shoot the fair one and everything like that. And what I noticed is that when DaBaby was walking up on him, he didn't get in a defensive stance. Like if you make these type of comments and then you see that person, you got to kind of match the energy that you had in the initial statements, which was made by Danny Lee's brother, which I'm gonna do this,
Right.
I'm gonna do that. You were a punk. I'm gonna, expose you, and all of the things that were said on his end. So DaBaby, although I agree with you guys, the young man got jumped. The initial punch was thrown by DaBaby. It was thrown by DaBaby.
With 6 of his boys behind him, still tried to catch him by surprise. He wasn't like squared up or anything. He came from a chill position.
Right, he looked
like,
more
Is it a surprise
surprised.
though, Tyrone? If I've already made it known that when I see you, we are fighting on site. These were the Danny Lee's brother's words, on site.
Right.
When I see you, this is what is going to go down.
Yeah, I mean, it's a surprise to me. I
at
figure if you show up with all your people, I'm like, oh, you don't want to fight. You want to just like do a scene or whatever. Like that's like, oh, this is just you showed up with the whole
yeah, that's what
team.
I'm saying. I
Yeah.
think if he would have said, if they would have been like, like he was like pulled up and was like, it's on site, right? And then those two were going back and forth and then fought without everybody else. I don't know. It just looked like he literally turned and here comes 5 people towards him.
Yeah.
Like he didn't have a chance to be like. I think he was gonna give that same energy. I just think it's like. Huh? 5 people, and then you get y'all are sliding down the lanes. Like I don't know. Like
I mean, all the like everybody who's part of this DaBaby situation, whether it's Danny Lee, like because we've talked about some of the videos and we've seen some of the shit. Everybody looks stupid. I just want to just go ahead on record and say that everybody looks stupid. Nobody's coming out of this thing looking cool. But like, and that's the thing, like whether it's DaBaby or the other dude or whoever else, like everybody just making dumb moves. Like if you're like, yeah, let's, you know what, we're gonna settle this once and for all. All right, come on, George, Greg, Tyrone, Mike, Paul, Jim, Frank, everybody get up and I gotta go fight this dude real quick. I'm gonna need all y'all. Yeah, call up Juju, call up Beans, like everybody, come on, let's go get. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like that's not tough guy stuff. You know what I mean? That's like, y'all, we're gonna have this on video, and if it goes sideways, we're gonna have to change the narrative.
Camera though, did you see it?
They
brought a production crew. Yeah, like he was one to shoot scene. Yeah, like they just, I don't know if he was like, oh, you want to improv some stuff? What you trying? You know what I mean? But like that was just it's posturing. It's posturing as some sort of like, oh, I'm the man here. I'm this dude, and it's just like, you can see right through that shit. Like again, like if despite it's arguable whether or not that first punch could be classified as a surprise or whatever else because of the way he was, that kind of thing. And if in a fair fight or in a fight that's gonna go either way, you try to get the advantage any way you can. That's and I don't condone violence, but I just but I understand that in a fair. But like when you're going up against one person and you got all your people behind him, all your people behind you, your accountant, your PR person, everybody else, like you have the advantage. So like you taking a surprise swing to get things started, that doesn't register as thug shit in my book. That registers as punk shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think one of the biggest reasons, not just because of how they moved, but the fact that they were fighting on a bowling alley like lane. Like, dude, they give you bowling shoes for a reason. Like,
I didn't understand that.
There's no way you can stand and have a physical fight on a bowling alley lane and think you're gonna like. It just looked so. It looked the dance, the little tango that was going on between his bodyguard and the brother. It looked like they were like ice skating on in the Olympics. Like it's just like they're doing the partner
So it just ended up looking even stupider. Like it was all just such like it was all embarrassing. Everybody should have been ashamed of themselves. Like everybody, even like
they get knocked over some pins.
Right. Even the person spraying the bowling shoes, like they should have been like, you know what? I shouldn't come back. This is just bad.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness, man. Baby, man. I hope you get it together, bro. I hope this is not gonna be, but it might be. Just might be.
Yeah,
I
go
hope
sit
it's not
down
a
for a while.
pattern.
Yeah, sit down
Yeah.
somewhere. Somebody needs to put him on punishment. Like it's
put your baby on punishment.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah. He
But
needs
look,
to let
guys,
that
we're at the end
situation
of we
go.
yeah, we don't reach that moment that I always dread, which is the end of the show. But as always, I want to give you guys an opportunity to go ahead and tell everybody what you got going on, what's coming up, and where they can reach you. So Holly, we'll go ahead and let you go ladies first today. How
Okay.
about it?
You can find me at So Please Understand. And on all my social media is pretty much at Holly_noon. So TikTok, Pinterest, Instagram, follow me. And again, don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Here every Wednesday at 6:30. So see you next week.
Cool. Tyrone, it's on you, brother.
All right. You can find me in the club, bottle full of bub. No, sorry, I had to. Just one more time for 50. Yeah, no. Perfect. Every week, Wednesday, 6:30 for Multiverse. Check us out here. Saturday mornings for the New Blurred Order. I'm sure we're gonna get back into this Doctor Strange stuff, so check us out this Saturday. And as stuff comes up, I will keep y'all apprised of the latest happenings. But follow me on social media at Tyrone Thornhill, wherever else. I don't be posting a lot, but one day I'm gonna have to do this stuff. Somebody's gonna make me do it, and you'll be one of the early adopters. And thank you for it. Have a great week.
Cool, man. Now I'm gonna try to take my time and get this all right because I always seem to not because I'm always rushing. But first and foremost, I would like to give a big shout out to a podcast called TBD, also to the Financial Griot, my man, neighborhood finance guy, also hot laughs and music on Instagram and Facebook. I think they also have a Facebook page as well. So go check them out. Make sure you check out the New Blurred Order every Saturday at 10 a.m. We got some huge shows. If you missed last week's show, then you missed a great interview with one Yvette Nicole Brown, and we had a great time with that. So that is up on our YouTube page. You can go check that out as well. Who am I missing? I want to make sure I get everybody. Am I missing anyone? Black Improvs. Is it Black Improv?
Black Improv Alliance.
Black Improv Alliance. Go check out my girl Stephanie Ray. She's got a lot going on over there. And I think, and listen, if I missed you, please remind me, and I will make sure I shout you out at the end of the show. We want to make sure we big up all of our supporters and everybody that we are familiar with, and you should get familiar with. So again, on behalf of myself, Tyrone Thornhill, and Holly Noon, we're the Multiverse, and we'll be back next Wednesday. So tune in because we're going to have a very great show put together for you guys. But until then, we are out of here.